Which video game have you accumulated the most hours in? Age of Empires 2. On and off for 20 years. So much time spent with this one. Remember when MS Zone had ranked tournaments? Check out the O2 to competitive scene on YouTube or Twitch. Ranked competitive matchmaking is great too. Counter-Strike 1.6 Go. Just always been a comfort game I end up going back to because I started playing when I was like 12. Like the game just feels natural at this point. Probably still WoW even though I haven't played it for over a decade at this point. Why did you stop? It got too addicting? Yeah, just too much of a time sink. I ended up selling my account to a friend so it would be harder to go back to it. How much did you get for it? I think it was $100, which was probably more than it was actually worth, to be honest. I stopped play after a while because outside of dungeon runs and raids all I was doing is leveling my professions and grinding gold at the auction house. One day it just clicked in my brain that I was paying $15 a month to basically work. Same here. I was waking up early, so I can harvest herbs and mine in the WoD garrison before work. It started to feel like a chore, and it opened my eyes to how much of a chore a lot of the game had become. Yup. Had a character with 400 days played on him. Couple of alts with over 100 days each. Started in BC, played through Legion, and I averaged over 6 hours a day by the time I stopped. Tetris. I'm afraid to know the total number of hours over the last nearly 4 decades. Factorio. I put in 3,000 hours just in vanilla, and mod packs pushed me over 9,500 this year. Sitting at 12,758 total as of this post according to Steam. Factorio is my #1 pick for the game they should Ender's Game to use to trick us into solving real-world supply chain issues while we think we're gaming. Spaghetti. The solution is always spaghetti. Dude, that's what? 4,5 years straight, 8 hours/day, to put in context, and the game was released 5 years ago. That's some commitment. Microsoft Solitaire. Remember the Space Cadet pinball? Actually yes, between Solitaire and Free Cell I don't know how many hours I've spent. Also, Sudokus. StarCraft Brood War. About 2 hours a day, almost every day since 1998. Edit, thank you for all the awards. Glad to see so many fans of this great game. In the interest of saving you guys time. Am I any good? Nope. Haven't played ladder in over a decade. I mostly play the use map settings games like RTD, Poker Defense and other great classics. My main during the latter days was Zerg. Muda Balls FTW baby. Edit 2, web link. I did the math, and if you still play it for 2 hours a day you would have around 16,790 hours. Which is 2 entire years of continuous playing. That's still a lot less than most WoW players. Stopped playing WoW like 8 years ago maybe, and I can't remember the official numbers, but I had months on my main, and he was only about half of my total playtime. It's depressing thinking about how much time I spent on that game. Don't think of it as time spent? It was a hobby you were passionate about. Instead, relive the experiences and memories you made along the way. I don't play it anymore, but I have lifelong friends that I would have never known without WoW. Diablo 2, load. Minecraft is a close second. Morrowind. First open world game I ever played. No quest markers, so you just had to remember who and where, or spend a lot of time in going through your basic journal in each city hoping there were enough details. Or just write them on a pad and paper. Not much on the internet to help except for fans on message boards. Then there was a cheat button combo to refill your health and magic, but you were only cheating yourself if you used it because you get great XP if you didn't use it. Spent whole weekends in the winter playing that. So, my first and main Morrowind playthrough, I killed Keys Cassidy's, with no game prompt informing me what I had done, and I continued playing the game my way for months, just exploring, killing, stealing, collecting etc. Then one day I'm talking to a friend about Morrowind, and they're going on about the story. I'm all confused. What story? You don't just wander around and do random quests? They tell me to go to Balmora and find Keys Cassidy's. He starts the main mission. So I go and find his house, and there he is, dead on the floor, naked, because I stole all of his things. 80 hours of game time and absolutely no means of starting the main mission. Morrowind is an incredible game and I think about it quite frequently to this day. Edit. Amazing. I've told this story a lot. It's actually one of my favorite video game stories, and apparently I have now told this story to over 3,000 people. So, that's fun and amazing. So, what do you do in that case? Morrowind was awesome because there was a backdoor method to complete the main quest. If you did it, you missed a lot of story, but it was 100% doable to only talk to one important NPC and beat the main story. Morrowind introduced pre-teenage me to what video games could be after having only really played Mario/Mortal Kombat. I remember thinking about it all day at school and being so anxious on the bus ride home, annoyed when kids were taking too long to get off the damn bus. Finding the mud crab vendor made me so happy. Man, I miss being that excited about anything. Yes, Morrowind. Top 3 most magical gaming experiences of my life for sure. House Telvanni forever. Edit. Love to see the Morrowind love. I need to buy some brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts and reinstall. U4 nearly 4,000 hours. So you've almost beat the tutorial then? Super Mario World. I have no way to even estimate, given it was the pack-in, and I was functionally poor. It was literally the only game I had for SNES for a year, possibly 2. Even after that, I still went back and back. As life has progressed, I've had every version of it: compilation, emulator, Game Boy Advance, Virtual Console. I just keep coming back to it. To me, it's not only one of the greatest games ever made, but it's also my childhood. And I feel happy every time I see Yoshi. Maybe my favorite game of all time. I still can't get the alternate exit in Choco Mountain very well. The one where you needed a certain amount of coins in a certain amount of time or something like that. Ark. I've uninstalled multiple times just to have a barrier of entry to avoid getting trapped again. Hey, an official minigun gets released in the next DLC. You should buy the DLC, rent a server for you and your friends, play it for 4 hours, and then uninstall but keep paying for the server for 2 years. Definitely haven't done this before. Minus the minigun, that was a most for me. Super Smash Bros. Kerbal Space Program. Edit. I'm stoked that I'm not the only one. Anyone else start running the executable directly, just to hide the hours from themselves? Skyrim. Yep, you start playing and suddenly it's dark out and 6 hours passed. Easily my most played, lost count of the days where I'd start playing, notice I was getting hungry and realize it was suddenly 9 hours later. Just one more side quest. Holy crap, Skyrim is already 10 years old. RuneScape. I'm really curious how much time I spent in old RuneScape. Every day after school, in 2nd, 4th grade, I'd come home, call my best friend, and spend 2 to 6 hours playing RuneScape with him and whatever friends we met along the way, which weren't either many, since we were stupid little kids. That, and Minecraft during 6th and 7th grade. I ran a clan on the forums, but we somehow had a lot of members even though I was a bit of a dick back then. The games I always think of for this question, though, are GTA and Skyrim. The answer is probably Skyrim, with GTA a very close second. RuneScape is probably third. Age of Empires 2 is probably fourth. If you can log into your account, you can speak to Hans in Lumbridge who will tell you the age of your account. Mine is 800 days played, flushed face. Oh my god, thank you for this. I've spent years wondering how much of my childhood was sunk into that game. Edit, 1,209 hours. 50 days. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2 when I was 14. 108D of gameplay. I hate to think how much time I committed to this. I would come home every day from school and play it till I went to bed. I would literally turn it off and get into bed, then dream about the game. Enemy UAV spotted. Enemy AC 130 above. A bit embarrassing, but The Sims 4. It's not the best game I've ever played, but it's easy to come back to. Edit, I should really have said The Sims in general, because I dread to think how many hours I logged in Sims 2 and 3 in my teens. I effing love Sims. Why is this embarrassing? You can get extremely creative. I played Sims 3 a lot. Sims 2 and 1 too. I just count and get used to Sims 4 because it had less content than even Sims 1. It wasn't a bad game, but I was more watching than playing and really limited. For example, fishing, not being able to swim in every ocean, only a few houses per town, loading screens and a more static game world. While making potions or doing that mosaic with Island Living expansion pack, you just watched animations and read text. You just watched and the gameplay was boring. CC, custom content, CAS, create a sim, and the building with rooms was really cool, but choosing a color like in Sims 3 was really missing. Edit, a wholesome award for death traps, you sick bastard. I love you. Not embarrassing. It can be relaxing to build and design, and Sims can be funny and fun to torture. I found that building death traps for Sims that resemble people who wrong me in real life is oddly satisfying. Left 4 Dead 2. Borderlands 2. There is at least 2 of us. Either WoW or Warframe. I played a ton of WoW during vanilla through Panda. Haven't played in years though, so I can't check my played time. Warframe is top of my Steam account by a solid margin. Path of Exile. I've been playing on and off since 2013. Consistent updates really help suck me back in. Grass grows, birds fly, and Brudu. I play TF2. Love TF2, just wish there wasn't so many bots in official Valve servers. At least Faceit exists. Minecraft. Played it for at least 3 to 4 hours daily for like the past 3 years. Minecraft probably my second most played game, or Skyrim, not sure. I played Mario Kart Wii religiously throughout middle school. I'd really like to set my Wii back up again. I'd love to play Mario Kart against others, but I have no in-person friends to battle. Did they ever make one with online multi? Yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on Switch has multiplayer. Mario Kart 7 on 3DS also did. MapleStory. No way to count, but over the years probably 20,000 hours. Original poster replies. For me it's between EverQuest or Dota 2. Stardew Valley. So far I have around 1,000 hours. Your farm must be badass. Doom, but Fallout 4 is catching up. Final Fantasy X and Breath of the Wild, both have thousands of hours invested. Civilization 2, 4 or 5 probably. Edit, I've just woken up to a ton of awards and upvotes for this simple comment. Thanks everyone. And because several people asked, I like 3-2 and same with Vi, which I haven't really had time to explore properly yet, only some 100 hours of playtime, but as said 2, 4 and 5 were the best for me and took hundreds or thousands of hours of lifetime from me. Civilization is an absolute time warp. The amount of times I've sat down to play for an hour and ended up playing for 12 hours is crazy. I've never played Civ, but it sounds like all you need is one game in the series and you're set for life without any of the others laughing out loud. I don't know, I played every single title in the main series, and they all had their advantages and disadvantages. 2 was the king of my early teens, 3 was less popular with me, 4 was easily the best game ever by the time it had all its expansions. V was May when it first came out but, to my great surprise, surpassed even 4 by the time all its DLCs and updates were released. Vi is neat but not quite up there with 4 and 5 for me. Agreed on V. I started at vanilla and didn't come back to it until I think Gods and Kings, and then I was hooked. That's when I started piling on the hours. I enjoy Vi a lot, the district planning is a lot of fun. The weakness in 5 and 6 is still the end game. Once I'm fairly certain I'm going to win, the last 50 turns or so is still a slog. Civilization 4 is the crack of video games. RimWorld. Closing in on 2,000 hours. Ah, so you're just starting? Definitely wow. Rocket League by far. 1. More. Game. I had to go through a lot of answers to find this. Rocket League is so easy to just jump into and play. The games are pretty short, so there's no long commitment. Plus, it's a ton of fun. I was surprised it wasn't one of the top 10 or so answers. Probably the original Guild Wars. I played it from the beta until probably 2015. Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, Witcher 3, Skyrim around 250 to 300 hours in each. Probably a dozen others with 150 to 200-ish. Animal Crossing New Leaf. I almost have 100% badge completion, and I'm maybe 50 items away from a complete item and clothing catalog. Hearts of Iron 4 and Crusader Kings 2. Destiny 1. Over 2,000 hours. I think the only other game close to that was Halo 2 in the golden days of online PvP. Most likely Final Fantasy XIV. Mass Effect 2. GoldenEye 007. License to Kill. Pistols. Stay the F off of my lawn. Skyrim, twice on PS3, once on PS4 and currently playing the VR version. Dark Souls 3, Bloodborne, and Minecraft. Vermintide 2, almost 2,200 hours. Followed by Total War Warhammer with 1,200 and the original Vermintide with about 800. Edit: since this got some attention, the melee combat is the best in any game I've played, ever. I can play as a dwarf with a machine gun and grenade launcher and kill giant rats. Or I can play as a man too angry to die, and dive into a horde of enemies with a pig on my head and come out a minute later covered in blood. Came out with new, free, roguelike game mode that gives you buffs like chain lighting and explosive ammunition. Seriously, people get this game. Edit 2, there's a slight grind when starting out, although Chaos Waste mode removed a ton of grind. The first 2 difficulties are kind of boring. My best advice is to ramp it up. RDR2, 9 playthroughs and the only game I play. Edit: prior to that would be MAG or Burnout Paradise, from closed beta until servers shut down. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.